Hey, what's up, soldiers? My name's GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome to Inside the Mind of a Speedrunner, episode number 5, where today we're taking a look at something a lot of you guys probably haven't expected, and that is the Mephistopheles boss fight that was just achieved by Oh Brave One with a time of 9 minutes and 58 seconds. And he's here today to talk about all the strategies. How's this going, man?
Hey there, guys. It's Brave or Jordan, and I'm really happy to be here right now because I have a lot of things in particular that I think are really important to point out about this boss fight. And a lot of people say that this is like one of the hardest fights in the world, and I'd like to agree. But it gets to a point where I know the ins and outs of it so much, and I want to kind of help explain it to you guys and maybe even make it easier for you guys.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear because I definitely would say this is the hardest boss fight we've ever had in zombies. And it's really cool that people are still going for it and everything like that. So, once again, guys, like usual, if you want to check out Brave, all his links will be down below in the description, his Twitter, his YouTube channel, and his Twitch, where he does content on all three. So, make sure to go follow him, guys. He's going to be putting out a lot of Cold War content as well on his Twitch. So, if you guys like watching speed, and I guess just gameplay of the new game when it comes out, you can of course check him out there. So without further ado, let's get right into the run. All right, so obviously this is the boss battle mode, and you're picking certain perks. Are they pretty straightforward every time?
You think they would be. For a long, long time in the history of this run, no one really used quickies because this is it's terrifying to see all the fireballs coming after you. So a popular perk choice was actually stamina up. But you're going to see later in the video that sometimes there are certain situations where you need to switch from the Mauler to the Venom so quickly. And quickies is one of those perks that enables you to switch weapons so fast. So it ended up being optimal to just drop stamina, get better at running away from the fireballs, and choosing quickies so that you can constantly be switching weapons on the go.
Okay. So I see you used 5-second muscle. Are these all going to be classic Fate and Fortune cards?
No, only 5-second muscle. 5-second muscle is the only fate card. Fortune cards are like for all the rest. And the reason that I use 5-second muscle is because I'm also going to be using the card head reloaded. And what's so great about that certain combination is every time I get a headshot, I'm technically reloading and the game reads it as a reload. So with that being said, it's like I'm constantly getting that extra damage, which is going to be crucial in the final phase.
Oh, that's really cool. Never thought of that. So you probably do the exact same thing every time, right? That you're running this. It's like you start on
Yep.
the same, talisman or whatever, and
I do. I have a very certain order. So I start on that one to the right over there, and then I do the triangle to the left. Then I go all the way over and get the one all the way on the left there. Then I go to the right. Then I go all the way back to the back for the last one. It's just the order that I came up with. I don't know how to describe it.
yeah, it's crazy. You're killing literally the things as they spawn. It's nuts.
Yeah, and that's actually what's important for me to talk about really quick. So you notice here how I'm standing at this certain spot, and a lot of people, they always tend to go for the back there. You know how there's that spawn area all the way in the back, that little circular platform. A
Yeah.
lot of people like to go stand there, and the reason why I stand here for this particular one only, all the other ones I'm going to be in the back, but the spawn rate of the clowns is so consistent that a well-timed venom shot that you just saw is going to wipe out a ton of them at once. So it's better to be up close and personal with them if you know the spawn rate's going to be the same every time. The only thing that is different consistently throughout the run are the phantoms.
Okay.
So if you think about it like that, it's actually it's so comforting to know that you don't mind that you're being up close and personal with them because you're getting the same kills at the same rate every time.
Okay. That's really cool. All right. So is there any way you can like manipulate some of the things or attacks that the boss does?
I wish I could say yes. The only thing that I can do for sure is know that he can't do some certain things. For example, the reason that I'm going out and standing in the middle here is because I know at a certain point there's not going to be those fireballs like going to the same spot every time. I also know for a fact, you see the meteor coming down right there?
Yeah.
Um, the first one that he throws will always go to the center. So that's why I didn't move from that position at all. I saw it coming down and I'm like, okay, normally that would make me have to get out of the way. But because it's the first one, it's going to the center. And as long as I stay a little bit away from the center, I'm not going to get hurt.
Okay.
And look, he's going to do this one. This one's actually be coming in pretty close, so I have to back up a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, oh, another really important thing that I want to talk about really quick, if you don't mind. Um, Everything that happens right here is a pretty prime example of why I think it's so important to do this run on PC. For a long, long, long time, we were all like anyone that had attempted to speedrun this fight was doing it on console, specifically PS4 or Xbox. And that being said, you're using a controller and there's only so much speed that you can use while you're navigating through the fight. One of the most important parts of the fight is flinging these souls at him. So when you're flinging the souls at him and you're at a point where you need to consistently be moving from soul to soul, it gets very noticeable when you're going to be losing time on a controller as compared to PC, where you can just swing the mouse back and forth from Mephistopheles to the soul, from Mephistopheles to the soul. And it's a huge reason why I even have this record, is because most of the runners are still on console. And they're not going to be flinging these souls at the same speed as me. So I've always just thought I don't really I don't appreciate how that works as a whole, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out really quick.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of PC players that are really good at speedrunning, and part of it has to do with being on a mouse and keyboard as opposed to a controller.
Yeah, I remember seeing Steve get a new record on the Giant after years, and lo and behold, he's on PC. And you have to respect the grind because that's what it takes. If it takes going to PC, going to a new platform to get these records, that's what a lot of people have been doing. And I don't personally know how I feel about it, but I've done it myself now.
Yeah.
One of the easiest things also is one of the biggest changes to this run, I should say, is you notice how I'm shooting him while he's still in the air? It's
Yep.
actually not as big of a time save as you would think. It's kind of just a guarantee that you're not losing time. You can shoot his souls immediately after the fourth one hits him. And, like that's whatever. It's good to save some time here and there. Here's me actually just sitting around waiting for the max ammo to spawn. The max ammos are on a set timer as well. Um, so it's important that you grab them like as soon as you see them because it's going to affect the rest of the fight if you don't immediately grab them.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember when I did it co-op, we would wait to get the max ammo if we didn't need it right away.
Yup, no, that's actually a really good strategy for this fight if you're not speedrunning it. That's a completely understandable way of looking at it because you don't yeah, it's a matter of waiting, but it's the same wait every time. So it's not like, you run away from his attacks, it's whatever. As long as you can survive that barrage, you can go ahead and get yourself a max ammo. But for running the fight specifically, you kind of have those specific moments where it's like you grab this max ammo or you're going to regret it later.
Yeah. So how long have you actually been like attempting this fight and like all that?
Um, so honestly, since it came out on Xbox, I always thought that the fight was really cool. Like I felt like there was a lot you could do with it to, make the fight go faster and faster and play quote unquote perfectly. Obviously, when I started out, I was thinking here, like, 14 minutes is a pretty good time. And then I remember the record for a while was 11:02 by Funk Vehicle, and I'm like, damn, I wonder if under 11 minutes is possible. And sure enough, it was. Um, but then I'm like, wow, do you think under 10 minutes is possible? And that is what I've been trying to get since like June 2018. So that particular, like getting under 10 minutes has been over 2 years in the making.
Wow, that's crazy. What kind of RNG can affect the run in a
Um,
negative or positive way?
so we're actually going to get to that in a little bit. I'd say like a minute 30 seconds from now. I'll let you know when it comes up. There is bad RNG in this fight, but one of the biggest like run killers out there is you know how he just did his slam attack right here.
Mhm.
If he does his slam attack while you're throwing souls at him, that is not even kidding minus 15 seconds. You might as well throw the runaway at that point. You might as well just throw the runaway because during the time that he's in the slam animation, from start to finish, he cannot be damaged by the souls. So you're just literally sitting around waiting for nothing.
Dang. That's crazy.
It's probably one of the most infuriating parts of the fight easily, just because you know that there's nothing you can do about it at that exact moment.
Mhm. Yeah. That there's so much bad RNG that can totally ruin your run no matter what speed run it is.
Yeah, I know, and it's always been like one big turnoff for zombie speedruns as a whole for me. And I don't know why I picked the fight with probably like one of the most RNG heavy things ever. I think it's just because I love the whole raid boss aspect of it, and it really ended up toning out pretty well. But right here, I'm actually getting great RNG for this specific one. Um, for this
Yeah,
specific
you're not even
circle.
getting touched really.
Yep. But now we're actually going to go ahead and pause again right here. What I really want to point out is, do you notice how he just started breathing fire right there? Do you notice how he starts that animation and I'm flinging souls at him?
Yep.
Those souls are not hurting him. As long as he is in an attack specific animation, so if he's doing the wall, if he is doing fire breath, and if he is doing fire slam, you can't stop those attacks. The attacks have to completely finish. And the wall is even worse because you can stop him during the wall and he'll go down, right? But he won't be on the field to like go through his, hurt animation until the wall is gone too. So that's crazy to me. There's
Yeah.
a lot of like things that can really ruin the run here. So obviously this is bad. It's probably only minus like 5 to 7 seconds, but it's still bad. It still sucks.
Yeah, I mean, 5 to 7 seconds is literally the difference between getting a sub 10 or not.
Yep, and I'm glad I was still able to pull it off. I had a really great final phase, but we will be seeing that soon. So yeah, like you see here, I'm really not able to damage him until he's completely done with that animation. I know the second like he starts flying, he starts doing anything else, that is when you can damage him. So I go right through with that. And actually, I didn't finish damaging him in the sky, so I think I lost a second there as well. Just looking back on that makes me cringe right now, honestly.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Like, oh my god. So I pop ego trip here as well. This is very important because there's actually a way to skip the mammoths entirely that are going to spawn in here, but it's not actually a time save. It's kind of better if you're doing like fate runs and you won't have access to ego trip. But because I have ego trip, I can kind of just pop the mammoths very quickly and be done with it.
That's cool.
Right here, I'm actually about to throw the venom shot out. The goal to passing this exact phase is killing as many phantoms like the blue ones as you can with one shot.
Okay.
As long as you can get the phantoms gone with the venom, then you're pretty much set. I'm looking at the clock here and I'm realizing, wow, wait, this could be it. So I just need to play well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you
Um,
were definitely sweating it out. Dude.
I was already shaking.
Yeah.
So right here, you say I have all the cards active. I've got head reloaded and 5 second muscle, which I was talking to you about. I've got second wind. Second wind is kind of just like a crutch because there's not really any other perks that'll help me in those situations or cards. And then I've got explosive touch, which is going to be saved for the finale.
Is there a reason you're proning during the like portal that sucks you in?
Yes. Oh yeah, that's an unfortunate fireball as well. So when you prone there, as long as you're just, in prone, lying on the ground, that black hole isn't going to suck you in at all. But you have to do it before the black hole even spawns, or you're going to be having a really bad time.
Okay. So that's just repetition. You just know that you
Oh
have to go
yeah.
prone. Okay. That's cool.
Yep. I see it start spawning in his hand. I'm just like, all right, time to lie down.
Oh,
So
you
see,
are
that's what I
super
mean.
red right there.
Yep. That's why second hand or
Wind.
that's why it's yeah, second wind, thank you. That's why it's such a crutch. I was getting hit there and I didn't care because I knew second wind was going to kill him for me.
That's cool.
So here we go. We are in the finale now. One of the most important things to do is pop explosive touch when you feel you are in serious danger. And also to not underestimate how fast you can really walk while aiming down the sights because that's such an important reason for you to carry Deadshot because you're getting that extra damage multiplier. I do go down there and I don't know from what, but you're getting the extra damage multiplier from Deadshot. Um, so it's important that you just keep aiming down the sight and know that you're still walking. So don't be scared of the fireballs. They have a set path and just don't be scared of them. This final part looks so threatening, but it can only be so bad every time. And I'm honestly having a pretty good time here. One of the most important things is if you get like fire tornadoes or anything like that, or you get a wall, then you can worry because those attacks kind of dominate the field. But there's nothing really dominating the field here. Everything's dying as it walks into me because I have explosive touch on, so I'm fine.
Yeah. I remember it being really good on Spaceland when people found out there was like an exploit with it.
Oh, I know, right? Which one are you talking about again?
The Spaceland boss fight, like, you could do it in,
Oh.
like, under a minute or whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah, you put on explosive touch and then you just ran up to the alien with the reaver.
Yeah.
Um, so here we go. I'm activating all the talismans now. They have a set cooldown before you can activate the next one, so I'm not in the biggest rush. That's kind of why I do that loop around, just in
Okay.
case any fireballs want to hit me. So here we go. This is the most important part of the entire fight. Um, it's not, well, I mean, it's not the most important part, but it's the part that determines your time. So keep an eye on that clock. We're going to be hitting 9:58. That's the time I decided to go for beforehand. And now you see I run into him and actually kill myself. So a lot of people that have beaten the Mephistopheles fight know that the final step involves shooting him as much as you can, and they think they just need to empty everything they have into him. And that couldn't be more wrong. He actually has a damage cap on him, and the game will recognize that at some point. And as long as you reach that damage cap, the black hole in his hand, just like if you were alive, will go away and he'll explode, and that'll be it. That'll be game. If you don't do enough damage to him, the black hole will still spawn, and you will actually fail the fight.
Okay. That's really
So,
interesting.
um, one of the things that people like to argue about is they'll say, "Oh, but it still says you failed." Yes. So that's why I always make sure in these videos to go ahead, spawn in. You're going to see me just grab a perk just to kind of like load into the game. And you're going to see, sure enough, on the screen, Beast from Beyond, Boss Battle, Mephistopheles, Brave with 958.
Yeah, that is insane.
So
Wow.
there we go. Yep, we have the time up on the screen. All is well. I quit out because I've done what I needed to do. But that is pretty much the fight. And I'm always going to enjoy like running it and talking about it with people. But wow, is it like a load off my shoulders to like finally not have to think about sub 10 anymore. That was the big thing for me.
Yeah, do you think, this can ever be, like, how much more time do you think can be shaved off?
So it's funny because it depends. Like I even I wrote up a timesheet for people that want to say that the exploit, or not the exploit, the suicide at the end isn't legit. I specifically have come up with a timetable for that. So I think that without killing yourself, without suiciding, the perfect possible time is 9:56. But with the suicide, I think the perfect possible time is 9:44. Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, 9:44 or 9:42, one of the two.
So are you
But
gonna be attempting to get a perfect run like that, or are you done?
I think I'm done. I really think I'm done.
Yeah.
'Cause, the big inspiration for me was knowing that there were those console players out there that enjoyed running it so much. And now here I am. I'm one of the only meth runners on PC. And they were telling me if anyone can get sub 10, it's you. So that was the big inspiration for me.
Okay.
Um, if someone were to ever beat me, I think, yeah, I would probably go for it again. But it really is just so much has to go right, and you have to be playing so precisely because you have to not be scared of being red screened for the whole fight. That's what that was. You saw a lot of red screens.
Yeah. And, like, how many runs would you say it took? Because I know you had been doing it for, like, 2 years.
Too long. Too
Too
many
many.
runs.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I've killed meth over 100 times, but I've been like in the boss fight room, like like where the theater. I've been in that room probably around 800 times, just like
Wow.
in the pre spawn area, just picking my perks and stuff. One tip that I always taught myself was even if I'm not finishing the run, like even if I'm not getting the record, I should always go and actually finish the run and do the finale, just to make sure I'm still playing well.
Yeah, to practice and whatnot.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Alright, one last question for you. What is your favorite Infinite Warfare Zombies map?
Spaceland. It's also my favorite map of all time.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
that's
funny
pretty
because
standard answer, I would say, for anyone that likes IW space.
I think the whole thing that I love about Spaceland so much is how much it blew me away and how like low my expectations were, and I just played only that for 4 months straight because I wasn't a huge fan of Rave at first. I love Rave now. I think every Infinite Warfare Zombies map is A tier or above, so I'm not really playing favorites. It's just like wow, it was such a perfect intro, and then the story ends there, or it quote unquote ends. but I'm never not going to love Spaceland. I've played that map to death.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one for sure with all the wonder weapons and different areas, and playing zombies in a literal like park is really cool as well. You know,
Yeah,
theme
and
park.
there's one thing about Spaceland that I miss very much, and I don't know if it'll ever come back. Probably not. But at one point there was a glitch, and it is a glitch, so of course it had to be removed. But you could actually use the thrusters from like campaign and multiplayer. You could use them in the map. It involved what's it called? Downing near the slides, I'm pretty sure that's how you got it. And then when you respawn from the Afterlife arcade, you had the thrusters. And you could just fly around, and it was the coolest thing. Honestly, because a lot of people, were abusing it and glitching out of the map. I was just flying around and having fun killing zombies. It was like if Advanced Warfare Zombies, if I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah,
so much fun.
that's cool. All right. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and once again, thank you, Brave, for joining me on this exciting boss fight. Crazy time. I still don't even know how you did it. That's insane to me. So thank
It,
you for being on this series, and uh good luck to everyone going for this boss fight in the future.
yeah, thank you so much, dude, and good luck, everyone.